Hi everyone, this is Sam Crane at the Heart, and today it's the start of the Not Too Shabby Shop Halloween YouTube hop. I'm using a ton of Not Too Shabby Shop brand new products. I am using Boo Sentiments as well as Witchy Vibes paper and ephemera. So I'm using an A2 size card. I took a couple pieces of 6x6 paper. I cut them down to I think it's 5.5, and then I cut it kind of in half so they fit across in large strips like you see there. And then I cut a tiny strip about 1/2 inch by 5.5 inch to go right across that seam. I'm also using the cupcake shaker because I haven't used it yet and I wanted to use it at least once before it gets too far. So I used fun foam to make my my raised kind of foam piece there, and so you can see that I'm going to be putting it together. I cut out those pieces of cupcake using the Witchy Vibes paper pad, and so I'm going to put together this little cupcake shaker. It's a little tiny guy, but so adorable. So I've got it's going to be a little pink cupcake, and you can see that I'm going ahead and I'm putting that together, and just putting that piece there. And so I kind of had to decide what shaker bits would fit. I just grabbed a bunch of Halloween stuff that I had, and the winner actually was this little freebie that I got from Simon Says Stamp that was, I think they said graduation, I don't know, but it was purple and kind of like a neutral cream or white. So it worked really well for this card, but I also needed just a little bit more color in there. So I grabbed one of the other packs and just pulled out the little tiny black bats. And you see me cutting that pack open. And I just dug through just to find the little bats that I wanted to go ahead and set inside that cupcake. So the top is a acetate piece, and it doesn't stick really, glue doesn't stick super well, so I actually am doing the best that I can to adhere that, and you'll see that I'm going to set it aside under a acrylic block to kind of give it a chance to set before I really start putting that piece onto my card. So I'm setting it aside, just kind of laying that acrylic block on there, and then I'm going to work on putting the rest of my card together. So I've got that ephemera piece. I also have that Trick or Treat sentiment from the Boo Sentiments, and I actually just stamped that Versamark, and then I poured white embossing powder over it and then heat set it because I wanted a white ghost. I don't have actually the dies to this, so I just fussy cut around the sentiment. It worked out really well, and then I decided that I want to go ahead and put that on foam, and I am using my very favorite foam from Altenew, and you can see that I am using some foam also on that cupcake little shaker there, and I think that that's probably the best way to adhere that shaker on here. I need something a little bit secure. And I'm going to go ahead and peel that off. And I do want to decorate my cupcake. So I'm going to be decorating the cupcake a little bit more, just a tiny bit more. So I'm going to go ahead and place that down. I'm going to put the rest of my pieces together all on foam, that sentiment as well as that little girl ephemera. So I am using from the Pink and Cute ephemera this adorable little ghost. I thought about putting a witch's hat on there, and I actually had one ready to go, but then I found that I had a little small ghost in this little ephemera pack, and I really liked that little ghost kind of peeking out of that cupcake. And there is my completed card. I'm going to set that aside and start working on my second card. So my second card is a 5.5 by 5.5 card. I needed a bigger card because the ephemera piece I'm using is quite large. So some of the ephemera that come in that Witchy Vibes is pretty big, and so you probably could squeeze it onto a 5.5 piece card, but I needed something a little bit bigger. So I am doing the same layout as my first card. So I cut my paper 5.5, And then I cut, I think, one piece at 3 inches and the other one at 2.5. And so those pieces are then just going to get adhered right to the front of the card. And I'm looking for my moon. I actually had another moon, which I did find later, but it's okay. I'm using this smaller moon just to kind of peek behind my tree. And all these pieces, including the sentiment, all come in that ephemera pack that matches the witchy vibes. To the video being a little bit dark, I was making this video at night and I had no sun, but actually here in California we've had some really I would say cloudy weather for a while, so it's been kind of muggy and cloudy here. So my sun my lighting has not been the greatest. So I'm going to go ahead and attach some of the pieces. I think the sentiment as well as that witch are going to be on foam. You can see me adhering that. And this is quite a simple card, just using all ephemera pieces. But I like how it comes out, and I do like the bigger size because it really fits this ephemera piece really well. My next card actually is going to be a little bit of a different fold. So that one is going to be, the paper is going to be 11 by 5.5, I believe. Yeah, 11 by 5.5. It is 11 by 5.5. And then you're going to score it at 1.25, 5.5, and 9.75. And so that will give you kind of a fun little fold. The inside folds, those outer edges, they measure 1.25. They're going to fold in, and they're going to be adhered with, you can use glue, but I am using a little bit of 1/8 of an inch score tape to close that flaps. And so those can be used to put a little tag, or you could put a little gift card right in the side there, which I thought would be really, really cute, that you could give this as a little gift / card. So the front is paper also using the Witchy Vibes, and I am doing A2 size. I made it just slightly smaller so I have a little bit of a white border, and then I'm using a strip of black there at the bottom. Also, I'm bringing in the Stamp and Die of the month, which I think is perfect for this card. It's called Pick Me Up, and for the license plate or the back of the truck, I actually used the die and cut out some words from the Witchy Vibes paper. There's one paper that says spooky all over it, and I used that to cut out the word spooky to put on the back of my car or my pickup truck. And I colored that all in Copics to kind of match my paper. So I'm going to put that on foam, and then I have my moon there, and I'm going to go ahead and put my ephemera girl to the front. And so I really think this is a fun card. Okay, so now for the inside, I realized that I grabbed the wrong pieces because I knew that I cut those short. So I paused the video for a second and grabbed the right strips that I had cut. And those strips measure a little bit shy of 5.5 by 1.25, a little shy of 1.25, just so that I can get a little bit of a little border. I don't like to make my paper exact usually for this kind of project. And then I'm going to go ahead and adhere that with some glue, my Barely Arts glue. Now, I wasn't sure which side I was going to use, but I decided to go with that black. And then I used the Not Too Shabby tag die to make a little tag using some paper from the paper collection and another ephemera piece. And then I'm going to stamp the inside of the card using this really cute stamp set, which I have not really gotten to use too much of, but I am using it for the front of my card. And this stamp set is called Best Witches, and it's adorable. I can't wait to use it. So I went ahead and stamped that, and my cards are now all complete. Here's all 3 of the cards. Thank you for watching. Be sure to visit Everybody on the Hop.